You deal with social anxiety or feel like you're being watched anytime you're in a crowd? You might be experiencing what is known as the spotlight effect. Let's talk about it.
Hey y'all, this is Johnny 5 from Flobots, and you are watching Constantly Positive.
No handlebars, no handlebars. I can ride my bike with no handlebars, no handlebars, no handlebars. Look at me, to be alive.
What's up? Today we're going to start a new segment on my channel called Providing Confidence. It's a new offshoot of the Constantly Positive project where I share stories, tips, musings, and general thoughts about what I think would help people become more confident. I love using my story to improve anybody's life, and I find that as a pretty confident person, I might be able to leverage that confidence to provide value to anybody that comes across the channel. So yeah, today we're going to talk about the spotlight effect. What it is, what it means, and how it honestly shouldn't affect you that much. But before we get into it, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment question of the day. Where are you most comfortable? Where are you just in your zone? Let me know. Before we get started, a little bit of a disclaimer. I am not a doctor. Social anxiety is a real diagnosable condition. I'm just a dude who loves people, sharing my story, and in using that perspective to see if I can help people improve their lives. First off, let's walk through a scenario. Let's say you had a group event that you needed to show up to, but you were a few minutes late and you spilled your Starbucks on the way there. Whether it's, a meeting for work, college class, high school class, or anything that you might show up a few minutes late and have something obviously disheveled about your appearance. Well, you walk in the front and you just feel like everyone's watching you, and you spend the rest of the day worried about it. Oh, everybody saw me. I had the giant stain on the front of my shirt. Well, that's exactly what researchers at one college actually did. They had groups of students scheduled to show up at their department, and then they'd all walk in. And then one random student was actually given a time about 5 minutes later to show up. And when they showed up, they were also given a t-shirt to wear that had Barry Manilow's picture on it. I guess during some of the pre-study research, they determined that Barry Manilow wasn't very popular, so wearing that kind of shirt for those students would be embarrassing. So yeah, that student was, orchestrated to show up later wearing a shirt that most likely would embarrass them. And then they would go in and participate in the rest of the research that was supposedly the primary focus of the event. Fun fact, human behavior says that knowing you're being studied will actually change the outcome. So if you ever go to a research study and they tell you they're studying something, it's very likely they're actually studying something else in addition to that. That's why the students didn't really know what was going on. Peace. After the event was over, they took the target student aside and asked them, how many people do you think actually noticed your Barry Manilow shirt? And most of the time during these studies, the person with the Barry Manilow shirt said, oh my goodness, at least 50%. I was embarrassed. I was wearing a shirt I didn't want to wear. I was walking in late. Of course they noticed, and they noticed I was wearing a Barry Manilow shirt on top of that. Well, then they took aside the remaining students in the group and asked them, so did anybody notice what the person who came in late was wearing? And not even 25% of the other students actually could recall what that person was wearing, or even if they came in late. And what that really says is, if we're focused on our shortcomings, our problems, our embarrassment, that's what makes us think other people are. But the reality is, other people are so wrapped up in their own thing that unless you're actively trying to be noticed, or if there is something drastically different about you, that's kind of how I grew up, but that's another story. If there's something drastically different about you or you're actively trying to stand out, that's the only time that people will notice you. So if you were to walk into a classroom 5 minutes late while wearing a Barry Manilow t-shirt and yell, "I lost the game!" then people might remember that moment and might give you a reason to be embarrassed. But in general, just going about your life, people aren't going to go about that and have that stick out to them. Not to say that you're not inherently special and valuable as a person, but it's 2022. We've got so many things going on. Our phones, our emails, everything going on in life just stressing us out. Everybody's got their AirPods in, or in my case, the Shocks headphones. I wasn't planning on talking about my Shocks headphones during this clearly mental health focused video, but they're so light, I completely forget I'm wearing them most of the time. And having a physical disability, they're great to have so I don't have to fool with my phone. I literally have had these on during family pictures. 24/7, I use them at my last job to take phone calls. They're pretty great. I'm probably going to do a review of them on my second channel, Techcessible, and there's going to be affiliate links down in the description of this one if you want to check them out. Bye! But yeah, everybody is so wrapped up in their thing that they don't have time to embarrass you the way that sometimes you think they are. And everybody else is thinking the same thing about you. So if nothing else, isn't that just one more reason to live as authentically as you are, just knowing that not everybody's watching, even if it feels like it? Hey yo, I'm back with a sound upgrade, new t-shirt, and a bright orange hoodie. If you've made it this far, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe for me. But I also wanted to take a second to invite you to my brand new Facebook group called Creating Confidence. Gonna be sharing confidence tips, self-esteem tips, mental health tips. Started it as kind of a way to create a face-to-face interaction. If that's something you're into, hit the link below. Peace. To wrap up, let's go ahead and go over an analogy that I came up with before I even knew what the spotlight effect was. Let's say you're going through a crowd of 100 people, right? Obviously, just by a function of space and time, the people on the very outside of that crowd are very unlikely to have a significant interaction with you. Let's go ahead and cut that down from 100 to about 20 people, 10 on your left and 10 on your right. Then just depending on, what's going on with people, who's having a good day, who's having a bad day, maybe it's you, maybe it's them. Let's go ahead and cut that down from 20 arbitrarily down to 13. So then you've got, 5 people first that are going to see you for who you are on the surface. Yeah, they like you for what you're portraying to society, but it's really not that deep of a connection, because eventually you're going to realize it's a waste of time and energy keeping up that appearance for, again, what is, at the end of it all, very surface level. They don't know you for who you are, and it gets tiring to portray that outwardly. So then let's go to the next 5. These 5 also gravitated to you for that same reason for who you're portraying on the outside, but they also had the opportunity and were able to stick around a little bit longer to get to know who you are authentically, internally, spiritually, who you are as a real person. And those are deeper friendships that I would call them my good friends. But let's talk about the last 3. Those last 3 people are actually going to be the people you may not get a chance to meet because they needed you for who you authentically are from the get-go. These 3 people are going to change your life, and you're going to change their life. It's a function of immediately being who you are authentically, internally, externally, and portraying that to the world. So what I'm really here to say is, be confident in who you are. Most people aren't watching, even if it feels that way. And just know that the people who need you are going to find you if you are the person that they need. And those same people are going to be the people that you need. That's what's going to allow you to have a life-changing impact, not only for yourself, but for the world around you. And if we zoom out back to that helicopter view of the entire crowd of 100, I firmly believe that authenticity can actually overpower the need for proximity, such that you're going to find people here, and here sprinkled throughout that full crowd of 100 that need you for the same reason that those initial 3 do. So this whole video is just to encourage you to realize you don't have to change your personality. You don't have to become super loud, obnoxious extrovert like I do. It's kind of my thing. But that's not the definition of confidence or authenticity. Confidence is being comfortable in who you are, so that way you know that you don't have to compromise through every situation. But yeah, that's the video. My name's John. Welcome back to Constantly Positive, providing confidence. Like, share, subscribe. Love y'all. Have a great day.
Right. I want you to live. See me with CP, that's constantly positive. I give my all, my everything, and when I'm out, I'll give some more. If it means that you would live through another 24. Said I want you to live. See me with CP, that's constantly positive. One thing about life is that it keeps going on, long as you find your reason.